Meta has announced the new $1,500 Quest Pro mixed reality headset, getting mixed responses from gamers.
And the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal is revealing a lot of interesting tidbits. We're going to talk about all this stuff and so much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. Gaming News Weekly is back. We are the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're coming to you on Fruit Lab, YouTube, podcast services everywhere to talk about all the biggest things happening in the video game industry. My name is E-Rock the Red. I am joined, as always, by this guy right here, FullClip. What's going on, dude? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Yeah, last week we had a slow week. We promised the people a lot was going to happen this week, and that is for sure. We've got things hitting left and right here.
They are, yeah. It was like, it all is about, like, there's an overarching theme to this show, and it's all about streaming services in video games. It's really interesting. We're getting a lot of new, interesting information. So, yeah, and tons of new releases this week. Last week, what do we have, like 2?
Yeah.
It was rough. And then this week, man, we had to, like, really pare it down. And not, like, pare it like a bird. I mean, like, cut it down a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You been playing anything fun?
Got to try out Deathverse, the Let It Die. They call it a battle royale, but it's only 16 players from what I've seen. But got into that for an hour or two, streamed that over on Twitch.
Was it fun? You liked it?
It's something that I want to revisit. I just don't know long term if I'm going to get into it.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's very different from everything else that's out there. I keep forgetting about it. I mean, like, I've forgotten about every other game besides one particular game that I've been playing. But yeah, Deathverse. That's I gotta remember to check that out. If I download it, maybe I'll check it out. Did you get any cool kills?
Of humans, I don't think so. I barely killed anybody in the little bit that I was on there. I mostly just died over and over again.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's about right. Nice. Yeah, I've been playing Overwatch too. That's it.
Oh yeah,
like a lot.
So you're actually able to get into a game now.
It's great now. Yeah, it works flawlessly every time. So I was able to get in, no problem for a little bit, and then one day, 90% of the heroes were locked. There was like a bug that did that, so that was a thing. Wow. But now it seems to be working really well. Everything, no problems, and having a blast. Like, I've been playing every night. It's the first time I've been playing a game like every night of the week in a long time. Like, so I was complaining to you before we started how exhausted I am, and I really should just go to bed right after this. But all I keep thinking about is, like, I got to do my daily challenges in Overwatch. So it's going to be a struggle after we get out of here. But I am really tired. So, that being said, what say we move this show on the road?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about our new releases from last week. All right, like we said, bunch of new releases. The first of many, Lego Brick Tales, came out October 12th for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS, Nintendo Switch, and PC. This is it's a puzzle game, physics-based puzzles that you solve by building things with Lego. Why hasn't this been done before? It seems so obvious, so cool.
Oh yeah, very, very different from your regular Lego game that might follow like one of the movies or some property like DC or Marvel. This looks like you're kind of put into scenarios in these tiny little, like, cube-shaped worlds, and they're already slightly built out, but it's like, okay, now you need to build a bridge. So block by block, you need to figure out the puzzle to build the bridge, or build the car, or whatever it's asking you to do. Yeah,
it's like being able to play with Legos without spending $6.3 million to do so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seems real cool. And then, like, as you go, you unlock different worlds And then everything you make and all the stuff in that world you could have in like the sandbox, and then there's collectibles. It seems like a really smart idea for fans of Legos and fans of just chilling out and playing games. Because it definitely looks like a nice chill game.
Oh yeah, they have like a free mode, I believe, on there too. Free build mode.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, and you just build stuff without actually having to leave your couch.
Yeah.
Next up, Dragon Ball The Breakers came out for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PCs. Came out October 14th. I had not heard of this game. It was entirely new to me. But then I saw there was a 1v7 asymmetrical multiplayer game. And I'm a big fan of those asymmetrical games. Mostly just because I like saying asymmetrical.
Yeah.
It is a fun word. But this one looks really cool. I don't know what a raider is. But you have it's one raider versus 7 survivors. And I guess this raider is like, I don't know. Are you familiar with the Dragon Ball universe?
Not really. Okay. I'm not sure. I think that's just part of this game, for all I know.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's like I saw there's like 3 people you could choose from right now, and I didn't write down what their names were, but those are the raiders. And then like as a survivor, there's vehicles and weapons and items that you have to use to try to not be broken. I don't know.
Yeah, some sort of keys or something. I was seeing a review about this. There's like keys around the map, 5 of them. You have to go find those keys. And I assume it works sort of like the other asymmetrical, like Friday the 13th game, where there's some objective so that you don't get killed by the one guy.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Interesting to see how that's going to shape up in a world of asymmetrical multiplayer games right now. So I'm sure all the Dragon Ball Zers are out there doing their thing. Really hyped for that one. And then a couple sports titles come to us October 14th. PGA Tour 2K23 came to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS, and PC. This is, it's golf. It's golf. You create your character. You play through your the PGA Tour. There's all these different courses. One thing that's cool is that there's a create a course mode, so you can make your own golf course, and then try to compete with Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing I saw about this, I saw a guy on YouTube in his playthrough. He played as Michael Jordan and Steph Curry. Now I think they're actually in the game, and it wasn't just like a golfer.
Are. I think it's like if you pre-ordered or got the deluxe edition, Michael Jordan is available as a playable character, and very cool. But I mean, like you said, in a world of create your own characters, I mean, you could play with whoever you want.
Right? Oh yeah.
What's stopping you? You could play with Incredible Hulk, maybe. I don't know. And then the other sports one, NHL 23, came out for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, X, and S, also on the 14th. It's the same NHL game we've all, come to play and love, except now we got updated rosters. There's cross-platform matchmaking and women's hockey.
Nice. Yeah. Is that probably like the first time they've ever done that?
I believe so. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's play as some women. I mean, you could probably also, if you're doing a creative character, make women in that too. And then last up, this is the one I'm most excited for. Scorn came out Xbox One XS PC came out October 14th. This is a first-person horror adventure game, and you're in like this nightmare world is the only way I could describe it. And it's like a living world, and it looks slimy and gross, and there's puzzles to solve, and you get skills and weapons. I have no idea what this game is even about. It looks very abstract, but it looks really spooky.
Yeah, kind of vague trailers. I was thinking of it as like a Tool music video come to life. That was my interpretation, because it's like your gun is like some kind of organic, creepy thing too.
It's gross. Yeah, the whole thing. So I guess I don't know if it's just based on the work of H.R. Giger or if he had any role in it, but he's the guy that he created like Aliens and stuff like that. So he's like really slimy, like stuff.
Lots of
that's
tendrils.
really gross. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that comes to Game Pass. So I am excited to get in there and check that out. Not super excited because it does look pretty gross. We'll see how long I could last in there. But yeah, that, like I said, that's the 5 of many brand new games that came out this past week. These are the big dogs, the ones that we need to talk about. But there were a bunch more indie games and a bunch of random other stuff. So go check out the full list. All right, let's move it along. Let's talk about our news of the week. All right, so this week, there's a theme. It's all about the streaming services, really. Not all of it. Let's say 98% of it. But yeah, let's start things off. They announced the PlayStation Plus titles for the extra and the premium subscription services. So this is for October. A big batch of games. I'm going to run through them. Here we go. You ready?
Ready.
All right. PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium are getting Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the Definitive Edition, Dragon Quest XI S, Echoes of an Elusive Age. You just have to say that one that way. That's a role-playing game. Tons of Dragon Quest. So if you have ever had any desire of playing Dragon Quest, this is your month, man. We also got Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And then here we go. Dragon Quest Builders, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees Woe, and The Blight Below. That's one game. It was not 6 games that I just said. Just one game. Dragon Quest Heroes 2, Explorers Edition. And then we got Inside, The Medium, Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Striker, Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Hohokum, and then only on the PlayStation Plus Premium section, the classics, Yakuza 3 Remastered, Yakuza 4 Remastered, Yakuza 5 Remastered, Limbo, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, and Everyday Shooter. Now, I don't know why these PlayStation 4 games are being offered in the Premium Classics section, because it doesn't make any sense. This was supposed to be the tier for like retro games, PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2 games, not PS4 games that should just be in the other tier. But huge batch of games. Anything jumping out at you?
I'd say that if anybody hasn't checked out Inside and Limbo, they should try those out, especially this time of year. They're not like Halloween themed, but they are creepy.
They have a nice creepy vibe to them. Speaking of creepy vibe, I'm excited to finally play The Medium. This is a game that I was looking forward to for a while. It came onto Game Pass, maybe like last year. And I just haven't gotten around to playing it. But it seems very cool. It's done by Bloober Games or whatever, and I played a couple of their games, and they know how to do creepy stuff. So I'm really excited for that. And the idea of that one's cool because there's 2 worlds that are like happening at the same time. One of them's like this weird dark world, and one of them's like the normal regular world, and you could like go back and forth in between them, and they're both like running simultaneously. It's a really interesting title. And then Naruto to Boruto, just because I like saying
it. Yeah, I have so much of the series to watch before I can get into the games.
Yeah. You haven't gotten to Boruto yet. You're still on Naruto.
Yeah.
You have to
halfway
get to
through Naruto Shippuden. So you said that you haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5, but have you played like the classics from the PS2 era?
I did, yes.
Nice. Because I'm thinking like Vice City
was the one that I played the most.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Definitive Edition. I don't know how much like bug fixing they did since the release of that, but it could be cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely that one I would check out again. Yeah, that one was the one I put in the most time with. I remember playing that with a buddy and just having a blast. So, yeah, lots of games coming out to the PlayStation Plus subscription service. All right, let's move it along. Next up, so I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there is a whole thing going on. Microsoft's trying to buy Activision Blizzard. There's like this, these legal proceedings. Everybody's reviewing this. You heard about this?
Never heard of that. Is that new?
It's a little new. But since this is happening, there's been tons of information that's been surfacing regarding this. So let's talk about it. So it's kind of opened up. It all really stems back to Call of Duty. That's the big one. Sony doesn't want a world in which Call of Duty doesn't also exist on their platform. So they're fighting this tooth and nail. They don't want this to happen. And so lots of arguments about this back and forth. Microsoft's like, listen, we'll put Call of Duty on this thing. We said we'll do it for 3 years. And Sony's like, that's not good enough. And then they're like, well, we'll do it longer. But they haven't, nothing's in writing. Nothing's for sure. And Sony is they're saying that this would damage their brand, their ability to compete if they don't have, specifically this game is really what it comes down to. So Microsoft is then arguing that Sony has always been just about the exclusives. At one point they talk about that Sony had 280 first and third party exclusives, almost 5 times more than Xbox had. And that they pointed out that Sony losing access to one title is not a credible argument for this to happen. They went so far to even offer Game Pass to be available on the PlayStation system, which we just talked about PlayStation Plus, which is their competitor. It seems like they would have known, it seems like an empty offer. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, this could have came before there was a PlayStation Plus, or, at least the current version of it, which is a streaming service, seems like almost their attempt at Game Pass.
That's a good point. That is true. It could have been. We don't know any of the details surrounding this, but we do know that Sony basically blocked this from ever happening, which to me it's a no-brainer. They're not gonna allow this. But some interesting information coming out of this. A quote that I highlighted here from Microsoft says, "In short, Sony is not vulnerable to hypothetical foreclosure strategy, and the referral decision incorrectly relies on self-serving statements by Sony, which significantly exaggerate the importance of Call of Duty to it and neglect to account for Sony's clear ability to competitively respond. While Sony may not welcome increased competition, it has the ability to adapt and compete. Gamers will ultimately benefit from this increased competition and choice," which is an excellent argument. I mean, it's not about having one title. It's like a lot of people have talked about, maybe this is the time for Battlefield now on Sony PlayStation platforms. If people can't play Call of Duty on a PlayStation, maybe Battlefield steps up and takes over, or an entirely new first-person shooter or something. So.
And this all kind of assumes that even after that 3 years, that Xbox doesn't want to make any money off of, the PlayStation, so they wouldn't offer the game at all on there. Yeah. But, chances are they would probably still have it. But, I mean, there's a little bit of irony here because PlayStation has had exclusive content and timed exclusives for the Call of Duty franchise for years now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. So it's. I mean, I've always been a Sony fanboy. But I never really understood the one or the other thing. The diehard tribalism between one company over the other. But I will be the first to admit that Sony has this idea of not allowing exclusives when their entire thing has always been about exclusives.
Yeah.
And that's even talking about like God of War and The Last of Us and stuff like that, made entirely exclusive. Now, we're seeing them come out on PC gradually. But, it's always been about having that exclusive market for as far as the games. Now, regarding the subscription services, in this article, they talk about how Sony, let's see, it says Microsoft also argues that Sony is exaggerating its own investment in game subscription services. It says that Sony's own priority, which has proven successful given its leadership in the market, has been to protect its revenues from sales of newly released games. Sony could, says Microsoft, increase the competitiveness of its PlayStation Plus subscription service by offering a variety of games it doesn't currently have. It chooses not to, showing Sony's prior lack of interest in competing in this market. So, yeah, it's interesting. Like, we just talked about what they're releasing as part of their subscription service, and it pales in comparison to what we talk about every week coming to Game Pass. All the day one games coming out, So, yeah, I don't know, man. What do you think is going to ultimately happen regarding this this acquisition? Do you think it's going to go through?
I'd say it will. I mean, I don't know if it can go through in most territories, even if a few block it, or if, if the UK says no in particular or something like that, would it go through for the rest of the countries?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a big question.
Yeah, I think like a couple have I don't know, like Brazil and one other one have said okay. Now it's in the UK. It's going through there, and that's, from what I'm hearing, is pretty intense scrutiny on the whole thing. Even a lot basically saying like this is going to affect Sony's ability to stay competitive, and it's yeah, I don't know.
Well, do you believe Sony's claim there?
I don't. I mean, like, this has happened before, never with such a big title as Call of Duty, but this has been, has happened where one gaming company has, the rights to another one. You just think about when, I don't know, I can't think of any right now, but it's happened.
Yeah, I think Sony. Oh yeah. Sony will 100% survive this. They might not like it if Microsoft starts making things exclusive, but they would survive it, I'm sure. So one interesting angle on this that I read, what if Sony said yes, okay to have Game Pass on the PlayStation, then you'd have every reason in the world to buy a PlayStation instead of an Xbox or PC, because then you get all the PlayStation exclusives and any Xbox exclusives that they put on Game Pass, or would be Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I don't see why not. But yeah, who knows? This is all developing. We'll see what happens. But another cool thing that came out of this acquisition from the Brazil's Administrative Council for Economic Defense. Now, while this organization was reviewing the documents, we did get some information that Game Pass for consoles generated $2.9 billion in revenue in 2021. That's an insane number. Now, that's just the revenue from it. It's not profit, and it was just consoles only. It's not PC. But Xbox Gaming overall earned $16.28 billion in 2021. So the Xbox Game Pass generated around 20% of its total revenue for 2021. So, I thought that was an interesting statistic. Much more than I thought, 20% for Game Pass. But we are seeing they're saying we want to put it everywhere, put it out on everything, including the Sony PlayStation.
Yeah. How about the Switch? Not every title, but some titles would work well.
There you go. That never was occurred to me. That will never happen. I will guarantee you that.
No, that is a walled garden. They're not going to get through the walls.
Yes. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. So again, we talked about now that's just revenue and not profit, which leads us into our next little tidbit. So due to some filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission by Snail Games USA, this is the parent company of the Arc developer Studio Wildcard. We got to see a first look, never seen before, look at how much these streaming services are paying to put their games on there. So, Sony paid $3.5 million to have Ark Survival Evolved available for their March PlayStation Plus. So, just for 1 month, to have it free for 1 month, $3.5 million. Crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Now, I don't know anybody who's actually even playing that game, but and
that's
then,
one I've wanted to check out for a long time, but just never got around to it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, so Microsoft paid $2.5 million to keep it on Game Pass for 6 months, and they're going to pay another $2.3 million to bring Ark 2 to the service when Ark 2 does come out. So, pretty crazy stuff. I had no idea. Like I said, this is the very first time we're getting any insight into how this works. Since PlayStation Plus has come out, we've gotten little tidbits here and there about a company making this amount of money through whatever, but we've never seen it really this side of it, showing the exact amount that they're contracted. Very interesting. A lot more than I would have expected especially for a game like this.
And I was surprised to see that we saw any numbers at all, because I thought they'd kind of be under like a not a cease and desist, but the legal thing where you're not allowed to talk about NDA.
An NDA, yeah.
Non-disclosure.
Yeah, so I think they needed to put these numbers in there because of this, the SEC getting this information. Now, I don't think it was meant to maybe be shown to the public. I don't know where it did come out, but yeah, very, very interesting stuff. Now it makes me think, it makes me wonder, how much some of these, big, huge games are getting, Yeah.
Isn't all of Ubisoft Plus or something like that on Game Pass?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's probably a significant deal there.
Yeah. You take a look at a game I don't know, the Assassin. We just talked about all these Assassin's Creeds being released onto the PlayStation Plus. How much are they paying? Ubisoft for those games. So it's a big market that we just we never get a peek behind the curtain.
No,
but we're seeing it now, all thanks to all these legal filings. And then speaking of Game Pass, I did see that the Meta Quest 2, when that comes out, that's going to have Game Pass availability on that. So I thought that was really cool, which then we have to talk about the Meta Quest Pro. Have you seen this thing?
Yeah.
$1,500 headset. I don't even know what it does.
Well, it's a mixed reality headset. So,
what does that
if you think
mean?
of the Quest 2, mixed reality is when you...
No one knows.
Yeah, when you add artificial reality to reality, when you mix those two together.
My two favorite things.
Yeah. The old, Quest 1, Quest 2 had some black and white things to help you figure out where you were in the room. And maybe some games took a little bit of advantage of that. But this one has full-color cameras so that you're actually going to be seeing the room around you, and you'll have overlays. And it'll be more like these concept videos that Meta was putting out a year or two ago.
Yeah, and they're saying that a lot of the features for this are used more in a professional manner, kind of what you're talking about. So that would be if you're sitting around a table, in the boardroom, you'd have everybody sitting there. That's a mixed reality thing, right? You got whoever sitting next to you. Mark Zuckerberg's stupid little character sitting next to you.
His legless avatar hovering beside you in the chair.
Yeah.
So Meta and Facebook have been accused for a little while of not knowing what they are or what they need to be, and they're really on brand with this one. A $1,500 business-first mixed reality headset, when people were so excited about the technology in the Quest 2, hands-free or standalone for the first time. You didn't need any extra stuff all over the place. It's got all the features that people were asking for, like the battery in the back to help balance it out. It's a thinner goggle system. I don't know what they really call it. But it comes with all this stuff like if you want to partially block your mixed reality view, you have to put some magnetic stuff over it. And there will be some sort of add-on where you can slide, I'm assuming, a piece of plastic over all the external cameras so that you can have a fully immersive experience. And I'm thinking, like, where are the gaming capabilities of this ending? Or starting and ending? Because this doesn't seem like it's made primarily for gamers. And I don't know how many businesses are going to shell up $1,500 a piece for these. I'm sure plenty will. Yeah.
It's. I mean, they're definitely like. I mean, we're seeing how much they're investing into this idea of the metaverse, and you know, I guess only time will tell if it's a flop or not. What do you think?
I really don't know. I mean, it depends on if businesses with everybody working at home after the pandemic are more likely to try and use something like this to suck up the expense if they have, like, you know, they need to buy 50 of these or something to get their team to feel like they're together. But you can't use one of these things more than like an hour or two. So at this point in time, it almost feels a little gimmicky for that kind of use.
Yeah, especially at $1,500 a pop, you know. You got to be sure about it. And also, you want to have a cool avatar.
So this one is actually coming out in like 2 weeks on the 25th.
Oh, wow.
So some reviews and stuff should be right around the corner. I'm going to hold out hope that they'll do some sort of gaming version of this. Like take the new screen, the new battery, the new look of the thing, and have it more gamer-friendly, gaming-oriented.
And then if not, MetaQuest 2 will be here in no time. And last up, we've got a new trailer and some new info about the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, previously PlayStation exclusive, coming to the PC. So it's got a range of enhancements coming to this version, including support for ray tracing, ultra-wide monitors, NVIDIA's DLSS technology, and then extensive customization options for mouse, keyboard, and controllers are also available. They said, in the graphics menu, you'll find many customizable features, presets, and quality levels to choose from. These include texture quality and filtering, level of detail, crowd and traffic density, field of view, windowed, full screen, and exclusive full screen rendering modes, and many other options. You're gonna be getting the Miles Morales. No, you're not a comic book guy. It's a fun game though.
Yeah, it does look fun, and I liked that. Into the Spider-Verse, is that the movie with the Miles Morales? Yeah,
it's a good game. But yeah, they released the system requirements. Like you could play it on any of 86 different levels of power. You know, from your Apple IIe all the way up to your super mega NASA computer. And this will be out November 19th. You can get it from Steam and Epic. And you could be out there swinging, shooting electricity. It's got electric powers. Pretty cool. That's it. We got to get out of here, dude. Daddy needs to play some Overwatch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else you want to talk about?
I got one more thing before you can get over to the Overwatch.
Let's hear it. I always look forward to these full clips. One more thing.
No, I had to share this one because how often do you hear not only gamers, but Florida Man in the news in a positive light?
Ooh, never. This is the first.
Yeah. This one combines the two. So this mad lad, Bill Fye, you can barely find anything about this online, by the way. It's from like an Orlando newspaper, and they have the whole, you're not accessing our site unless you pay us $500 and your firstborn child stuff. There's a YouTube video from the news station that goes into detail on this if anybody feels like checking it out. But Bill Fye, he's gaming. His buddy gets onto the headset and he's like, man, my grandma is stuck in Florida in Port Charlotte during Hurricane Ian a couple weeks ago, or maybe just last week, and her roof is falling in. And he showed the guy, Bill, a picture of the roof falling in on the sofa where the grandma was sitting.
Oh, no.
The grandma's 79 years old. home is like instantly no longer livable. Her neighbor invites her in, luckily, but this guy actually lived in Miami at the time, while her family lives out in Texas. So her grandson in Texas tells this guy, "This is what's going on with my grandma." This guy jumps in the car, drives 200 miles from Miami to Port Charlotte and through the hurricane itself for portions of this to rescue the kid's grandma. And take her back to his place. They put her up for a week until her family could come out and get her.
Wow. You think they played some games together then after that?
I hope so. Yeah.
Well,
this
awesome.
might have been the grandma that played Skyrim or whatever that was.
yeah, she's out there. That's amazing. What an uplifting story. You know, Bill Fye, the Florida guy, cheers to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, important detail. He never met this person before. They're only friends through online gaming. That's how it fits into all this.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. What does it say what games they play?
They didn't, and that's why I wanted to read the article, but I'm not paying up for one article.
No. We'll just say it's probably Fortnite.
Probably.
Very cool. Yeah, all right. That is it. That brings us to the end of this week's episode of Gaming News Weekly. Thanks so much for checking out the show. My name is Erect Red. I am on Fruit Lab. You can find me there along with FullClip. He's also there posting our gaming clips. Go check it out. If you don't want to do that, you can check us out on YouTube. Pop Culture Playground is where you'll find me. FullClip is on YouTube at GameFAQs, GameFAX. He's also on Twitch doing what were you just playing? What did you say you were just playing?
Deathverse Let It Die.
Deathverse. Yeah, go check him out there. FullClip_FL. And check us out, the podcast version. Gaming News Weekly, the podcast. Anywhere podcasts are available, you could find that. And then TikTok. TikTok it's heating up. We're it's where the juicy bits, the meaty juicy bits, you'll find them there. If you can't sit for and watch a show or listen to this show for a half hour, 40 minutes, you go there, you see like a 1 minute clip, a 2 minute clip. Bam. Well, it's what you could watch that while you're pooping. Might be able to check out 2. Depends on what you had for dinner, I guess. All right. That's it. I'm going to play some Overwatch. What are you doing?
Haven't figured that much out yet.
Damn. All right. Well, thanks so much for checking out this episode. We will see you next week with more Gaming News Weekly.